With our story about the elf journey, we will learn Arabic letters easily. Our first Arabic letter is Elif. Elif. The letter Elif is a straight line. Elf. Elif. Elf. This letter name is Hamza, but it's known as the small Elif because the reading same way. E. 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 The elf finds itself near a small bay. 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 Our first letter is B. B. Bay. B. As the elf swims in the bay, he found a tent, even that can swim. Our first letter is T, which is the initial sound of the tent. T. Tent. T. T. Sometime later, he noticed a sailing boat approaching, and he shouted, but no one inside. So he decided to travel the world with this sail at that moment. Our letter is the S. Sail. S. S. First, he wanted to go to Europe, but when the waves grow up, he decided to return and traveled around America. Finally, he got to the Jamaica. Jamaica. Our letter is Jim. Jamaica. Jim. Jim. After a few days enjoying the heat in Jamaica, the elf realized that he had lost the potion of invisibility. He probably forgot the bottle on the land at the beginning of the journey. So he decided to follow the route he had arrived and go back. So he came back and searched so much, but he couldn't find the bottle. He remembered put the bottle somewhere in the icebergs. The elf went out icebergs. After searching all day, he finally found the bottle. Ha! He said, or letter ha. 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 The elf decided to take back the tent. Maybe somebody can need it one day like himself. So the elf left the tent where it took it. After that, he went by same route to the warm seas, and on the road drank from the invisibility potion before he arrived Havana. Havana. Our letter is H. Havana. H. H. The elf decided to go to Dallas to wander, and he followed the shore. Our letter is Dal. Dallas. Dal. Dallas. Dal. While the elf was in Dallas, his boat shot by the navy. The army wasn't hospitable to refugees at all. Elf is deported. The elf began to swim forcibly, but it was very difficult. He said to himself, "Zealous elf, more zealous." Letter of us, Zal. The more zealous, Zal. Zealous, Zal. Zealous, Zal. The elf tried to fish on the beach for a few days, but he couldn't catch anything with his fishing rod. Our letter, Ra. Rod, Ra. Rat, Ra. Finally, Elf catch something, but it was very powerful. So he tied the rope tightly on his wrist to pull it. But the fish was pulling Elf. After the elf spent all his strength and became weak, he began to drift. He realized that his rod was caught in an airship zeppelin instead of fishing. Our letter Z. Zeppelin, Z. Zeppelin, Z. As the elf couldn't untie the fishing line from his wrist, the airship took him up to the clouds. He forced to climb the zeppelin, and some hour later, when he looked down, thought, if they hadn't sunk my boat there, I would have gone south on this road through to perfect coast. Anyway, the scenery is beautiful from here, he said. Scene, scenery, scene, scene, scenery, scene. At dawn, the owl looked at the islands on the horizon and said to himself, shining islands, shining.
Shin,
Our letter,
shin,
shining.
shin.
The elf had noticed that the fishing rod had pierced the balloon and it had missed the air. He tried to remove the needle but failed. He was very sad for that. Very sad. Our letter is sad. Sad, sad. He has been trying to fix the balloon all day, but in vain. Elf said, if my father be here, he could fix this balloon. Dad, Dad. He fell asleep moaning, Dad, Dad, letter of us, Dad, 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 Dad. The elf tied the fishing rod tightly in the middle of the balloon, to preventing it from missing any more air. When it finished, he said, Tadet, Tadet. When he was little, his father taught him how to tie a knot, strong knot. He was always saying, Tadet, Tadet, Tadet. Letter of us, Ta. Tadet, Ta. Tadet, Ta. Ta. The elf fell asleep after struggling for hours. Z, z, z. Our letter is Z. Z, 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 z. When the elf woke up, he saw the world and the moon. He realized he's still in the same galaxy. He said, I in the galaxy. I in the galaxy. Letter of us, Ein. Ein. I in the galaxy, Ein. Ein. The elf saw a spaceship on the moon. Elf shouted, Guy in the spaceship! Guy in the spaceship! Guy in the spaceship! Letter of us, Gain. Gain. Guy in the spaceship! Gain. Kain. The astronaut came with fan. Fan. Our letter is fe. Fe. Fan. Fe. Fe. They drank coffee together. Coffee. Our letter is cough. Cough. Coffee. Cough. Cough. Alf came to the place where he learned that a physics professor would speak about the sun, and when he heard the sounds behind the curtain, he went there. The professor himself was absent, but the professor's glasses were on the floor with Captain. 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 Our letter? Calf. 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 Captain. Calf. Calf. The letter calf exists in three different ways. This shape, second this shape, third this shape. Calf. 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 When the elf examined the professor's glasses, the lights went out. Right next to the elf was the microphone lamp. Our letter is lamp. 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 As the elf looked through the professor's glasses, the theater curtain suddenly opened, and spotlights lit, and the audience began to applaud. The elf was frozen on stage at that moment. The elf's meme was very funny. Elf's meme. 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 Our letter is meme. Meme. The elf made moves to escape at that moment, but was too late to escape. Meme. Second shape of meme. 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 One of the professor's assistants shouted, "This is the professor's glasses! What are you doing with professor's glasses?" Alf replied with fear, "I took it only look." Man shouted again, "To look what?" Alf said, "Noon, son. Noon. The letter of us, noon. 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 Thief! Police! Police!" he shouted again. A police officer there, and he heard assistants call police. He said, "Wow!" He had already took his whistle out of his pocket. "Wow! Wow!" Letter of us, wow! 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 The police decided to solve the incident, so that he whistled in a high tone. Suddenly everyone was silent. The police pulled the handcuffs out of his pocket and showed them to the elf. handcuff. That's our letter. He. Handcuff. He. He. Handcuff. He. According to position in the word, the letter exists in 4 different forms that are similar to each other. Second, this one. He. He. Handcuff. He. Third, this one. Handcuff. He. He. Handcuff. He. Fourth, this one. He. 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 When the elf saw the handcuffs, he tried to get away, but suddenly he hit the lamp. Lam Elif. Lam Elif. Originally, Lam Elif is not a letter. It's united two letters, Lam and Elif. Lam Elif. He tried to escape again, but this time his foot tripped on the lamp cable. Lam Elif. Lam Elif. Lam Elif is available two different ways. This one and this one. With the effect of fear, the elf flew very fast towards the yellow suns. Our letter is Y. Yellow, Y. Elf,
ألف
elf, E. Bay,
باء
tent,
تاء
sail,
ثاء
Jamaica,
جيم
Ha,
حاء
Havana,
خ
Dallas,
دال
zealous elf, more zealous. Zealous,
ذال
rod,
را
zeppelin,
زاي
scenery,
سين
shining,
شين
sad,
صاد
that, that,
ضاد
tired, tired,
طاء
z, z,
ظ fan
فاء
captain,
كاف كاف كاف
lamp,
لام
coffee,
قاف
elves mean, meme,
ميم
elves mean, meme,
ميم
noon, noon,
نون
wow, wow,
واو
handcuff, he,
ها
he,
ها
he,
ها
he,
ها
lam, elif, lam elif, lam, elif, lam elif, yellow suns, yellow, yeah,
يا ألف باء تاء ثاء جيم
خ
حا دال ذال را زاي سين شين صاد ضاد طا ظا عين غين فا قاف كاف لام ميم نون ها واو يا
bold letters
خا صاد ضاد طا ظا غين قاف.
Stop the video here and practice until you are sure you can say all the letters quickly.
The elf woke up and realized that everything was a dream. He wanted so much to explore the world. He said to himself, I have to sail to go to place I dreamed of. He made his final decision and began to take notes on the map next to himself. I am now to the east, so I can go from the upper region through Azerbaijan and Armenia to the sea. If there is a single line top of the letter, when read the letter, it's finished with A or A sound, like Azerbaijan, Armenians, first sound.
ا ب ت ث ج ح د ذ ز س ش ع ف ك ل م ن ه و ي
bold letters
خ را غ قا ص ض ط ظ أمر ثمر بعث فتح ترك ختم عدد جعل مثل رفث حذر شجر عبد خلق أحد وعد ذرأ نزل كسب دخل رجع شرح وجه فرض عبس بلغ زعم صدق هلك لعن خطب بطش ضرب حضر عرض طبع نكص خلط ظهر مكر غلظ عشر كفر فطر قدم سقر جرم بطن منع مثل نظر فصل وأخذ وجمع ففسق فصرف ونفخ فحشر ظلمك فسجد لذهب فوقع فخلف لجعل فغفر فنظر سألك لبرز فخرج فهزم وكفر عقبة فعدلك ووجدك جعل لك.
If there is a line top of a letter and there is also an unmarked alif letter on the left side, then that letter is read by extending.
So, a sound turns a sound.
Thin letters
أ آ ب با ت تا ث ثا ج جا ح حا د دا ذ ذا ز زا س سا ش شا ع ع ف فا ك كا ل لا م ما ن نا ه ها و ي يا.
bold letters
خ خا را را غ غا ق قا ص صا ط ط ض ضا ظ ظا.
If there is only a vertical small line top on the letter is read by extending.
So, a sound turns a sound.
Thin letters
أ با تا ثا جا ح دا ذا زا سا شا ع فا كا لا ما نا ها و يا.
bold letters
خا را غا قا صا ضا طا ظا كما جواب بلغ كلاما لكان أحاط أخانا وأثاب رمضان وقاتل فساهم فوجدا لفسدتا ما كتب فلا رفث فما جعل قال معاذ وما منعنا خاف عذابا وضرب لنا فما كان جعل لك جاوز قال فهدى فآوى دحاها قضاها فناداها ما سعى وما بناها وما قلى وما طحاها يتوارى متى هذا حياة صلاة زكاة ومناة تظاهرا ما عاهد وهامان جاهداك تبارك لنا خطايانا.
He said to himself, after Azerbaijan-Armenia line, I can reach the sea through Anatolia. If there is a double line at the top of the letter is read with the sound of the an, like Anatolia. Thin letters
أن بن تن ثن جن حن دن ذن زن سن شن عن فن كن لن من نن هن ون ين
bold letters
خن رن غن غن صن ظن ظن ظن.
He said to himself, I am now to the east, from the bottom, that I can go through Iran to Iraq. If there is a single line under the letter is read with E or sound when letter finished, like Iran, Iraq. Thin letters
E B T C G حي D Z G Z C she عي في كي لي مي ني هي وي ي
Bold letters.
خي غي قي صي ضي 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 بها إلى أمن ضرارا أإذا ففزع باطلا سلاسل عبادنا ذراعا ومغاربها منازل فطفق خيانتك لعبادي خائفا ولا جدال سفرنا هذا خلق ظلالا بهذا مثلا إلى صراط.
If there is a vertical small line under the letter is read by extending. Thin letters.
إي إي بي بي تي تي ثي ثي جي جي حي حي دي دي ذي ذي ري ري زي زي سي سي شي شي عي عي في في كي كي لي لي مي مي ني ني هي هي وي وي ي ي
Bold letters.
خي خي غي غي قي قي صي صي ضي 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 فيه به قيل حين هذه ذلك شهيدا فرحين بأخيك خليفة ففريقا ببنيه سبيلي كافرين لكبيرة بخارجين أفعينا ثلاثين فخشينا سيرتها بقميصي شياطين لحافظين نفيرا شاكرين لطيفا خبيرا قال سآوي وإذا قيل سنين دأبا خالدين فيها كان ضعيفا ذي ثلاث في عبادي ميثاقا غليظا عليما حكيما.
He said to himself, after Iraq, Iran, I can go to India and reach the sea from the other side. If there is this mark under the letter, it's read with the sound of the or in when the letter finished, like India. Thin letters
إن بن تن ثن بن حن دن ذن ذن زن سن شن عين ثن كن لن من نن هن win yin
bold letters
خن غن طن صن طن ضن ضن فلك دين واقع بأخ حمأ تراط بخارج يابسات بحفيظ غواش بغضب حينئذ لفي نعيم بباسط حين مناص في فلك في حديث عذاب غليظ.
He said to himself, I know Urdu and Uzbek language, so I can wander freely in this area. Urdu and Uzbek. If there is this mark upside of the letter is read with U or Ü sound when finished, like Urdu and Uzbek. Thin letters transform between U, Ü sound, both letters transform U sound. Thin letters
او بو تو ثو جو حو دو ذو زو سو شو عو فو كو لو مو نو hu, wu, yu,
Bold letters.
khu, ru, gu, qu, su, bu, bu, ظ أمم كتب عباد أناس سبل وطبع أكل مفاتح تخاصم ووضع يؤاخذ في ظلل بما تعدنا كما سئل خطوات بغلام عليم فلا جناح فإذا نفخ فيها منافع وإذا قرئ يهيج فتراه.
If there is a u, marked top of a letter and there is also an unmarked wow letter on the left side letters, then that letter is read by extending. Thin letters.
U, bu, tu, su, ju, hu, du, zu, zu, su, shu, ru, fu, ku, lu, mu, nu, hu, wu, yu,
Both letters.
hu, ru, ru, u, su, bu, bu, vu. هودا روحي تكون يرثون على نور صابرون يغوصون فذوقوه يتغامزون ستجدون ولا فسوق خلطوا عملا وذروا ما بقي ظهورهما أفلا توقنون وكان أبوهما فقالوا سلاما يريد خيانتك.
If there is this mark top of the letter, it's read with the sound of the un. Thin letters.
Un, bun, tun, ثن جن حن دن ذن زن سن شن عن فن كن لن من نن هن هن ين
Bold letters.
خن رن غن قن صن طن ضن ظن كتب رسول دافع شراب غفور رجال حميم حرج إذا لعليم حليم وحور عين ولا خلال متشابهات كان رجال سرق أخ عذاب عظيم عجوز عقيم كان لي قرين عزيز حكيم.
If there is this mark upside of the letter,
the first sound of that letter is said and stopped suddenly.
تيب مت هث يج يح سيخ قد عذ صير وز بس خش فص ريض شط تض نع مغ غف فق رك زل هم من صي أو وي لم وزر إفك فأوفي أثقالها مخذولا غضبان أخرجت فلا تشمت قل أرأيتم مسلمون قل فيهما تستعجلون ذلكم إصري تغني عنهم وإلهكم واحد من الولدان سأريكم آياتي.
if there is this mark top of the letter is repeated twice.
تز حر فك مر إنا مما مني صفا كل مما عد كل توابا تبت تطلع يمدهم يكذب مستقر فصل لربك سحار عليم ولا يحض ويحق القول إما يعذبهم بآيات ربنا فسواهن سبعا نسبح بحمدك مما ذكروا.
When this sign is top of the letter reading time extends to the amount of reading for elif.
سيء بهم حتى تفيء زيتها يضيء وساءت مصيرا طائفة أخرى ما وراء ذلكم سوء العذاب لتنوء بالعصبة أن تبوء بإثمي.
First page of Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Second page of Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون.